Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 3. This is the Mr. Hornsby 3 show, and today I am here with a new video. This week, got a wrestling talk video this week, and I want to talk about WWE, AEW, and TNA. And I'll probably start with TNA. But before I continue, if you'd read my post I put out yesterday, I talked about a back problem I had. That's why I didn't do a video. Well, I was going to do a video much last week anyway. I didn't plan to do any videos last week because the last couple weren't doing so well, so I said, alright, I'm not motivated to do a video for this week. The only video I did do was the unboxing of the Lex Luger with the WCW World Heavyweight Championship and the NWO sprayed WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Unboxed the Ultimate Edition, and that's all I did. I didn't do no playthrough, I didn't do no extra video Wednesday. But then Wednesday, when I was working out on my legs, after I get done with my workout, my back really starts killing me, and it was stemmed from a workout I did. It was stemmed from a while back when I was in like my late 20s, early 30s. I was working out. I was doing deadlifts. And while I was doing the deadlifts, I pulled something in my back. And I had to take a week or so off, or I took a week off from the gym at that time to get my back to be better. It did get better, and then a couple years ago it came back again, and then this year it came back, so, man. And it happened right after I finished my workout. I worked my legs Wednesday. I had to go to the hospital Thursday to see what was wrong. They gave me a shot in my back, a steroid shot. It's supposed to work. It's supposed to be in my system until next Thursday. Then they offered me some meds, which I just took some pills before I freaking start this video, so my back wouldn't kill me so much while I'm sitting in this hard as hell chair doing my video. But yeah, so I didn't do nothing. I'm out of freaking water, so I have to drink a pop. But anyway, so yeah, that's why I didn't do videos last week, because my back was just in such pain. I had to freaking feeling better, feeling a little bit better yesterday. It's feeling a little bit better today. Hopefully it'll be fine tomorrow so I can go back to the gym, because I missed the rest of last week from the gym because of that injury. So need to get back in the gym this week, and hopefully I can start by tomorrow. But I won't be working my back. The funny thing is, the day before I'm about to work my back gives me this issue. But anyway, we're here about wrestling. So talk about AEW, WWE, and TNA. The three big ones. And I want to start with TNA because I feel like TNA is starting to become what ECW used to be. It's pretty much ECW 2.0 at this point. Now, a lot of people say, well, Ring of Honor was that too. Yeah. Ring of Honor was that. And then we had TNA. We had TNA. And we had WWE, which were the two biggest American promotions. But then TNA just fell off a cliff. And they stayed off that cliff for quite a while. TNA's gotten a little better since recently than it was around that time. It just fell off that cliff. But then in 2019, AEW comes along. And AEW became the second biggest wrestling promotion in America. I mean, and heck, AEW even got guys that freaking TNA couldn't even get. They grabbed up Chris Jericho. They got the Big Show. They had Mark Henry for a bit. They got Adam Copeland. They got Christian. Well, Christian jumped to TNA a couple times. So did the Hardy Boys. And the Hardy Boys are currently in TNA again. But yeah. So, yeah, TNA to me has pretty much become ECW. You know, because Ring of Honor was ECW, and then Ring of Honor went out of business and was bought out by Tony Khan and AEW. And somebody need to fill that ECW void, and you know, the reason why I say it's ECW, even when it was the second biggest promotion in the freaking world, in America, even when it was the second biggest promotion in America, it still could not get a actual premium network like TNT or TBS or any of that. They were on Spike TV for a while. And Spike, yeah, that was, I guess you could say it was a premium channel at the time it was around, but it ended up, they ended up getting rid of TNA. In fact, I think they even brought TNA over and made WWE move back to USA. So, yeah. I mean, and TNA, like I said, was doing good up until around, what was it? Until Hogan came in. And then TNA just went downhill and went off the cliff. Excuse me. But, you know, I mean, TNA's on a channel like Access TV, which is not a nationally publicized channel. AEW is on TBS and TNT every week. And WWE, even though they took Raw off of USA, they still got SmackDown on USA. And they still got the Saturday Night Main Events on NBC and all that. EBC. What the heck am I talking? So, yeah. As far as networks, yeah. TNA is the ECW of the big promotions in America. They're the big three in America. But, you know, TNA is just a smidge bit higher than the new version of New Japan, which I heard New Japan ain't been what it has been these past couple of years. And a lot of that's got to do is because, you know, AEW is taking a lot of their big talents, like Okada, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Jay White, Will Ospreay, all that. But, you know, not only is TNA in the spot where they have pay-per-views on Friday, which is what Ring of Honor was doing for a while. I mean, first they started with their own internet pay-per-views on their website. But then, they're doing pay-per-views on Friday. A day not many people are home. And they don't get the publicity that AEW and WWE get. AEW and WWE get all the publicity these days. Everybody talks about AEW, whether it's good or bad. Everybody talks about WWE, whether it's good or bad. Not only that, AEW now has their pay-per-views starting at Revolution on Amazon Prime, which is a big thing for them because they're a company that looked like they were about to start dying out. But these recent shows this year has been alright. I hope they continue making good shows from here on out. The pay-per-views are still very popular. And they're still $50, even on Amazon. What happened to them being on HBO Max and then taking half the frickin' price off of the pay-per-view since it's on HBO Max? I don't know. But Amazon Prime's a good site to be on to get your pay-per-view seen more. Because a lot of people have Amazon Prime. A lot of people watch Amazon Prime. And, you know, Amazon Prime is a big deal. So, good for AEW for getting that. But also, another way TNA has become the new modern day ECW is because, well, first they had a partnership with AEW, which is what ECW was doing with WCW until they went separate from WCW. I think when Paul Heyman bought it. Then, now they're working with WWE. So, yeah. TNA has pretty much become the ECW of this new modernized era of wrestling. And, you know, AEW has become pretty much the WCW. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying, oh, they're WCW 2.0 because of all the stupid booking decisions Tony Khan's made and all that. But they pretty much are. They're the second biggest promotion in America now. They're on TNT. They're on TBS. They got freaking Tony Schiavone. They got all the money in the world. Well, you know, they need to start making more money. So, yeah. Anyway. But, yeah. So now they work with WWE. So that's why I say TNA has become the new ECW of this modern times. Now that we're done talking about TNA, I mean, and look, sometimes TNA, I watch AEW and I watch TNA and I watch SmackDown every week. And, you know, of the three, sometimes TNA is a little better than AEW or WWE sometimes. Kind of like how ECW sometimes was better than WCW and WWF at the time. But, you know, is what it is. I gotta say, you know, I've enjoyed these recent shows, except for this past Wednesday show. It wasn't that good of a show this past Wednesday, but outside of all the other shows that they've done as this year started, they've done good. Can they keep that momentum up? Talk about AEW. Can AEW keep that momentum up? And, you know, and I just talked about their Amazon Prime deal with them being on Amazon Prime and having their pay-per-views on there and that, which is pretty good. Then they got their old shows and that on HBO Max, which is something they should have tried to get when they first came in. But, you know, I'm pretty sure more eyes are watching, especially seeing that, you know, AEW's pay-per-views are on Prime now. And people who have HBO Max and like HBO Max, oh shoot, sorry about that. People who have HBO Max and like watching HBO Max, they can click on there, click on AEW, see if it piques their interest or not. Which is a pretty good thing for AEW because they've gotten a lot of good things happen for them these past couple years. I mean, last year they finally got the new deal signed. They, you know, started early this year. They were starting on Max and TNT and TBS. So usually Collision and Dynamite are simulcast on the channel they're on and on Max. So that's pretty good for AEW. They've done pretty good so far this year with what they've got going for them. They've had a lot of good luck this past year. And, you know, like I said, the shows have been a little bit better. You don't want to freaking... You actually want to pay attention to the shows. Well, like I said, except for Wednesday's show. It wasn't that great. But, yeah. But they really geared up and started making Dynamite... Oh, fudge, I'm yawning too much. Making Dynamite and Collision a lot freaking better. Or made them a little bit better than what they were toward the end of last year. And most of last year, because a lot of those shows sometimes were hard to get through. And I found myself looking at my freaking phone to see what time it is, to see how much longer until this show's over. Like I said, I mean, heck, if I didn't want them staying on these big channels, I wouldn't watch it anymore. But I like the fact that we got the big channels where you have it on TNT and TBS, because for so many years we had NWA/WCW, and then when WCW finally died in 2001, there was no wrestling on TNT or TBS anymore, and that kind of sucked. Then AEW comes along, and now we got wrestling on TNT and TBS again, which was good. Alright. I think if we give AEW a couple more years, maybe Tony Khan will learn how to book better and that, and tell better stories and all that stuff. Because, I mean, heck, he spent most of the last couple years trying to get a new deal for his company. Now he's got that new deal. Now he can focus on trying to make the shows good again. And so far, like I said, outside of this past Wednesday show, this show wasn't too good. But, finally finally doing good, except for this past Wednesday. And maybe they had another show where at the beginning of the year where they weren't doing so well either. But hey, it's March. They are headed toward Dynasty and all that. And if Tony Khan books things right, I mean, I like how he's been booking Powerhouse Hobbs lately. Like how he's been booking Big Bill and all that stuff. And I think he's starting to get better with booking the big men too. The thing is, let's not have these guys in endless feuds forever. We don't need Big Bill and, Powerhouse Hobbs 5,000 times. Right now, it looks like they got him feuding with Archer or frickin' Brian Cage, so yeah. And we still ain't seen Wardlow back on TV, so who knows. Keith Lee also we haven't seen back on TV. But, AEW right now, doing alright. Doing better than they did last year. Can they continue having good shows for the remainder of this year? You can have crappy shows here and there this year. But I want most of the AEW shows this year to be better than they have been the last couple years. Because Jesus Christ, man. Whew. It's been terrible the past couple years what AEW's been doing. But, you never know. I did just buy the AEW game too, so yeah. Okay, I'll show it off. That SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 did not work, so... And I'll probably do a playthrough. Probably a short playthrough, because I'm not doing any of their freaking tournament modes or any of that crap. But I got this game. And that'll probably be the next thing I do a playthrough of. Or I might just stick with the classic games and just play, maybe like WCW NWO Revenge and play another WCW game on PlayStation and all that stuff. So we'll see. I'll decide as these couple weeks. Oh, I freaking feels to make me tired, man. I gotta take a muscle relaxer before I go to bed every night. And I've been taking this other one that helps with pain during the day. Take it 2 a day. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah. AEW, if they can stay on the track they're on, and they continue doing alright, then that'll be good. And I think Swerve should be the one to beat Moxley for the belt, because we don't even know what's going to happen with Darby Allin. Darby Allin could freaking die on Mount Everest, or any of that. And he's so worried about Mount Everest, climbing that, instead of freaking actually fighting for the AEW World Championship. One, they've been making a push for him to be the next AEW World Champion. Well, might as well just put the belt back on Swerve at Dynasty and have him lose it to MJF or something, because who knows what's going to happen with Darby Allin. He may even have to freaking recuperate. He might still get... He either could die, or he could get injured doing the climb on Mount Everest. Either way, I think, yeah, just put the belt on Swerve at Dynasty, because Swerve's going to win, and, Swerve should win the title. He had his run, and Swerve's still hot. He just came off this hot feud with Ricochet, making Ricochet relevant again. So, yeah, anyway. But, yeah, I mean, AEW, keep back on track. Keep going and doing what you've been doing the past few weeks, because you're doing a little bit better. Alright. Now let's talk about the main one, WWE. And it seems like a lot of people are not happy with Raw on Netflix. And it sounds like the ratings have not done. And I even predicted, I said, watch, the ratings for Raw are probably going to drop because of the fact that Raw is on Netflix. Just like when they switched from USA to TNN in 2000, the ratings kind of dropped there for a while. And I think they got back on track like by the beginning of 2001, but that's why I say I did not like the fact that they were going to put Raw on Netflix at all. I don't even watch Netflix. I don't even like. I watched frickin' Dragon Ball Daima on Netflix, and I've watched Demon Slayer's last couple of arcs on there. But really, I mean, outside of that, not too much excite. There's not too much on Netflix that excites me. Cobra Kai is now finished too, so I won't be watching Netflix for Cobra Kai anymore either. So, you know, because Cobra Kai finished, it's done. Netflix is, I'm just not a big fan of Netflix. I don't like, nothing on that app really excites me. I don't watch any of their anime they got on there. I don't watch any of the freaking movies because it's the movies that's on other apps or movies I have in my collection myself. So, yeah, I mean, really, Netflix does not do too much for me. And even with Raw on there, I haven't watched Raw in a while. I mainly watch SmackDown. SmackDown's got the main championship, which is the WWE Championship, main women's championship, main tag team championships, main, I guess you could say main mid-card title, because it seems like the U.S. title has become a bigger prize on SmackDown. You know what? Gunther did something to help it out and got it back to where it was, but you know. And Braun Breaker has it right now, but you know, I like Braun Breaker and all. But when they had him lose to frickin' Jey Uso, what was it, last year? Right before SummerSlam, and then he got it right back at SummerSlam. Oh yeah, they're just going to treat the Intercontinental Belt like they did in the Attitude Era and the early Ruthless Aggression era. So I'm like, so what's the purpose in even getting excited about it? Even though one of my favorite wrestlers has it, current wrestler, Braun Breaker. But, yeah, is what it is. But, and it seems like SmackDown has been losing ratings too, because they keep putting the same old stuff at 3 hours. I mean, when you move a show to 3 hours when it's been 2 hours most of the time, you know, it's that old adage, less is more. And, you know, 2 hour show, you give people wanting more. 3 hour show, you're just dragging it out, and you have to drag all these storylines and all that stuff out and all that. And, you know, it's just too much. Like I said, I've said this time and time again, the Triple H era, I think it's a bit overrated. Now, yeah. Is WWE better now than what it was when frickin' Vince was in charge? During the late Vince McMahon years? Yes, it's way a hell of a lot better than what it was in those final years of Vince McMahon. Because at least Raw and SmackDown for me are watchable. A few years ago, when Vince was still in charge, they were not watchable for me. And I think that's why AEW benefited so much. It wasn't because of their product, because it seems like they're pretty much doing the same thing they did even back then, when they first started. It seems like they're doing pretty much the same stuff they were doing then, but more people are complaining about now because WWE's gotten better. And that's something I think, you know, Tony Khan needs to figure out what to do to keep people captivated on these shows. And if that has to bring in somebody that could do a better writing, booking job than him, then do that. Run the company. But, you know, just, you know, yeah. The past couple of years with AEW has been bad. Now, like I said, this year so far it's been good. But last year they started out with a lot of hot shows until around this time, and then they just went downhill. So I don't know. I don't know if their deal with Max's work to help them get more eyes on their product or not. I don't know. I haven't kept up with the ratings. Honestly, I haven't kept up with the ratings since like the Wednesday Night War ended, when freaking AEW was just crushing freaking NXT every week. So I don't know. All I know is that when I watch AEW, I still enjoy certain things about it, and there's things I just hate about it. You know, I'm not like all these other people that just hate everything AEW does. Because some of these people just, they either do it because they're just WWE loyalists, and that's fine and dandy. They just do it because they just think it's a cool thing to do to hate on AEW now. Or they do it, you know, I don't know, because they feel differently about the show than I feel sometimes. Who knows? You know, everybody has their opinions. Everybody likes what they like. Everybody hates what they hate. You know, like I said, there's things about AEW I still like, and then there are some things I hate. Now, Tony Khan has tried to fix some of those things, so it's made me continue watching. And plus, I like the fact that we got 2 wrestling shows on 2 big networks. Even though, you know, Dynamite's on Wednesday and frickin' SmackDown's on Friday. And Collision, I just enjoy. I miss Saturday night wrestling shows. Because I grew up in the era of Saturday Night Main Event. I grew up in the era with WCW Saturday Night as well, before they got Nitro and all that. And I enjoyed watching that stuff. So, you know, although other people don't tune into Collision, I do. Plus, there's nothing else to watch on Saturday night most of the time. Well, anything I'm interested in on Saturday night most of the freaking time. So, yeah. I mean. But, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the 3 big companies real fast. Talk about TNA and how they're becoming the new ECW. They're even in a partnership with WWE like they were. Like ECW was back in the day. Wanted to talk about AEW. And actually, because I hear so much negative about AEW anymore, I have to give some positive feedback for AEW. But, yeah. And then I wanted to talk about WWE. And like I said, you know, yeah, the Triple H era, WWE is a hell of a lot better than those late years of Vince McMahon. But it's not great. Like, you know, like the Attitude Era or the early Ruthless Aggression. Because I liked the early Ruthless Aggression. It was just the later years of Ruthless Aggression that annoyed me. Because you had to deal with Cena all the time and all that. And as the guy on top and all that. And let's talk about this, you know, before I end this video. I want to talk about Cena heel turn. I've mentioned it a couple times in other videos, but I'll talk about it right here. I thought it was a smart move because, you know, Cena's desperate to try to get that 17th reign so he could beat Ric Flair's fictitious, you know, 16 times for this prize right here that I'm holding in my hands. And hands on my shoulders most of the time. But, yeah. So, Ric Flair's fictitious record is going to be broken. I think he's going to beat Cody at WrestleMania. Cody probably gets the belt back at SummerSlam or something. And then Cena goes back to babyface. A lot of people think, well, he's just heel for WrestleMania, then he'll be back to... I think he's going to be heel until he loses the belt. Then when he loses the belt, then I think he'll be back to face, and, you know, he'll, you know, be... you know, and The Rock, you know, I would have preferred to see The Rock... oh, throat. Got a little sore. I would have preferred to see The Rock and Cody follow up on their match that they had, follow up with what happened last year at WrestleMania with them having a match for the title. But I know they're like, well, it's Cena's final year. We want to send him off on a high note. Blah, 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 blah. It is what it is. Rock gets what he wants, and that's take the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes, and, you know. But I thought it was pretty good heel. Wasn't as big as Hogan's? I don't know. Because you think about it, at the time Hogan's heel turn happened, wrestling, there was only still one big name in wrestling at the time, and that was Hogan. And honestly, Hogan's heel turn came at a time when wrestling was in a bad place. And then that started a new boom period with Hogan doing the NWO thing. And then, then you had WWF say, you know what, screw it, we're going to do Attitude. And that's what they ended up doing. Because really, both companies were freaking trying to find their legging during the early part of the Monday Night Wars. Only problem is, when Bischoff found the legging and found the formula that worked, he ended up overdoing it, and he didn't have a good plan to finish it or end it or anything. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what Eric Bischoff has said on his podcast in the past about, I think at the time, probably my ultimate plan was for them to have their own show. Because first of all, here's the deal. NWO did have their own show on Saturday night when they first started. And they wanted to take over Nitro. And he didn't know about getting Thunder until what? A couple years after he started the NWO stuff? So how would it have been NWO ending with their own show? I don't get that. That makes no sense to me. Not only that, what you should have did, and you shouldn't have fucked it up, but you did anyway, was... Look, I like the Wolfpack and all. But you should have ended the NWO angle when Sting gave us a real true ending with Sting beating Hogan and put an end to the NWO forever. Could have reincarnated him here and there. I mean, look at what the WWF did with DX. How many times did they reincarnate DX over the years? A lot. But could have did that instead of riding the horse of WCW. Or you could have had Sting win, beat Hogan fair and square, and then somehow Hogan gets the belt back, and then had Goldberg or somebody finally end the NWO. You could have did all that, and that would have been better than what you did those dying years of WCW, and especially with 99 and 2000, especially after just going back through the whole Monday Night War. 99 and 2000 were the worst years that WCW had, honestly. I thought 96 through mid 96 to 98 was really good. And then 99 came along, and especially with what they did with DDP with him winning the frickin' belt. That was just annoying. But yeah. Anyway. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the John Cena heel turn too, because John Cena's heel turn, I think it was like 10 years too late, but oh well. Better late than never. We'll see how Cena goes as heel. I think he's going to be on Raw, I think, tonight. And when his promo pops up on YouTube, I'll just watch it on YouTube, because I'm not going to get on Netflix, watch one segment, and then just turn it right back off. So, yeah. Anyway, that'll do it. Before I go, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I got green on because my wife is notorious for pinching people if they don't got green on. So I got me a green shirt on today. Ain't got my typical frickin' pajama shirt on. And this is an ugly Christmas sweater I'm wearing, so yeah. But yeah. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow my Facebook fan page, Mr. Horns83 Show. Follow my Facebook business page, Trigen Toys. I just posted up pictures of a Jax Ron Simmons and 2 new belts from the Jax World Heavyweight titles up. I also put up a picture of a couple other things I picked up, like finally found a LJN figure for a cheap price, Brutus Beefcake. I was going to get Nikolai Volkov, but by the time I went back to get that, somebody else bought it. I also found a Hasbro Big Boss Man figure. The real Hasbro line, not this line Mattel does. Which is a good line. But, you know. Also got a Super 7 Destro figure. Reaction figure for... You know. I thought it was an old school G.I. Joe figure until when I went to buy it. And I seen it said Super 7. I'm like, oh, son of a... Oh, well. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Catch you guys later. I'll see you guys Wednesday for my reaction to my Colts. When my Colts did a free agency. And talk about why I'm still annoyed with Colts Nation. And it's, you know, because of another play. It's because of a one player that everybody keeps disrespecting. No matter how much this guy improves, they just keep disrespecting him. But I'm going to be talking about all things with my Indianapolis Colts. All the free agent moves they made this year. Ballard's really trying to keep his job, so... Took him year 9 to freaking... do what's necessary to get this program a winning program again. And I hope these free agent picks we got really freaking pan out for us, because that'd be ridiculous if we're one of those teams that just, you know, spent a good amount of change in free agency and then freaking still sucked. But we'll see. Ballard finally did something right. So we'll see. Anyway, catch you guys later. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Go watch Leprechaun or whatever. And peace out.